welcome to Teenage Story Slingers. I'm Sam and this is Mel, and today we will be introducing you to our Story Slingers writing course and letting you know what you're getting yourselves into.
Okay, welcome to our creative world. If you're watching us, we're assuming you have a curiosity, if not a passion, to write a full-length piece of work. Congratulations, that's the hard part.
But it gets harder. Dun dun dun. If you commit to this project, there's no turning back. A creative life is addictive and the rewards are infinite. To be able to type the end on something you've worked on for months is an achievement you'll never forget. There'll be more work after that because the work never ends for creatives. We are pedantic and we like to fix things, but you'll never forget the first time. It's a sense of achievement no one else can give you.
There are no tests, scores, or academic awards for what you're about to do. But you will be working in a world where you call the shots. You are the creator of your realm and the despot of your characters. But be warned, they will fight back.
So, let's introduce ourselves. Mel.
Okay, I'm a teacher and writer. I'm your mentor, accountability partner, and shoulder to cry on. It's tough love from me from here on in. And I'm the one who has to make sure you meet your deadlines and achieve your writing dreams. But I'm here because I have a passion for helping young people tell their stories. So I promise I have your best interests at heart. You can trust me to help you in any way I can, and I hope you enjoy the ride. It'll certainly be a wild one.
So, Mel has written several, 2 children's books in a series, her Cracker and Jimmy mystery series called Forbidden and Dirtbusters.
And
She's working on a third one, which is soon to be published, called Miranda's Gold. She's also written an adult novel as part of her PhD studies in English literature called The Miner's Wife. She's also created lots of bookmarks.
We love bookmarks. And as part of the course, we actively encourage you to make bookmarks for your stories. T-shirts are very, very important. And I think we talk about hanging a sign on the door that says, be quiet, author at work.
Yes, as entrepreneurial 21st century authors, we encourage you to get your project out there and promote it. So, I am Sam, the other half of this dynamic duo. I'd say the prettier half. Mel would probably call me just the crazy half. Anyway, I'm going to be the one who's going to be with you for the nitty-gritty part of the course. The structure, story and character arcs, the dreaded middle slump, and the rainbows and celebratory popcorn after the harrowing climax. My best advice for you is to trust yourself. Trust your ideas, your dreams, and your subconscious. Remember that the unknown is your friend and the chocolate helps most things most of the time. You're meant to say nice things. So, I study theatre at the Queensland Academy for Creative Industries, and Mel is helpfully demonstrating some of the stuff I recently performed in a couple of festivals and entered a couple of contests with some of my theatre writing, and I have some pretty trophies now, which makes me happy. This is for Best Australian Work in the Beeley Festival of One Act Plays. It was a fun time. So,
yeah, and Sam's a little bit shy. The reason Sam is in this course with us is because she's won the Best Young Australian Playwright Awards. She's taking out lots of awards even as we speak. She's a little awarder. But we run one-day workshops, and Sam does the theatre part of our writing workshops, and what that does is it helps us free up our imaginations and gives us ideas for our stories, because we find that we become very predictable, and Sam's very good at shaking us up, and plus she's young and everybody likes to work with Sam because she's young. What we're hoping to do, and we'll get into this further into the course, we want to help you write and publish your stories. We want you to have all the trappings that go with it. You won't be getting any trophies, but hopefully you'll get some bookmarks and things like that. We'll also be recording your stories once you get to the end, and that's the hard part, it's getting to the end. So hopefully you'll have a novel at the end of this, you'll have an audio recording at the end of this, and some bookmarks and a t-shirt.
So, let's move on. Today we're trying to introduce you to the structure of our writing course so you know what makes us unique and why it's going to be a fun time. Our course is structured around the idea of voices in your head, because as a creative, you're not just one person all of the time. Basically, where we try to structure our course around the different modes of creativity that you employ on a day-to-day basis. So the first voices we'll be introducing you to are the voices that dictate your creative process. There are 5 of them. The dreamer, the inspirer, the combatant, the control freak, and the finisher. We'll be going through them one by one and introducing you to your own creative process, which we're going to nurture throughout the course. Mel, would you like to introduce the dreamer?
Of course I would. Okay, the dreamer. The dreamer knows why you're here. You've got a purpose, and the dreamer's here to help you articulate it so that you can so you can charge on with self-knowledge and a reason to continue.
The dreamer is essentially about your motivation as a writer, because if you don't know why you're here, if you don't know what you're doing, it's okay if you don't know what you're doing, but if you don't have a reason to be doing this course, if you're doing it because you feel like you should or if someone's telling you to, you won't get the most out of it. So we're here, the dreamer is the voice that tells you, it's a little nagging voice in your head that gives you a reason to continue through the course, and we're going to nurture it. The second voice that we like to talk about is the inspirer. We've written, this guy is your first port of call. He's the harbinger of your ideas and the igniter of your creative energy. When the cogs in your brain start spitting sparks at the explosion of a street lamp, he's the voice that's taking charge. The inspirer is basically in charge of your brainstorming and of letting your imagination fly free as you develop your ideas for your stories. It's not about creating the right idea, the perfect story. The inspirer likes creativity and looseness and freedom.
Oh, and it's a time for Mad Hatter's tea parties and parachuting out of trees and digging holes that lead to nowhere and anywhere. It's party time.
Dun dun dun. So, our third voice, the combatant.
The combatant. The combatant is in charge of building on your ideas. She takes your initial spark and runs with it, linking it with your previous experiences and asking questions to keep your creative juices flowing. And inside the course, we have lots and lots of things to help you do that.
Yes.
So what we're doing here today is we're just running through the steps that you'll be taking. So you'll start with why you're here, then you kick through these things. There will be a little printed booklet which will make life a little bit easier for you to follow along. Okay, so you've opened your eyes, now what? First of all, try not to shudder at the food on the walls, and don't even ask how that annoying neighbour character ended up on the roof. Don't worry, we're about to start organising, sort of. It's time to start creating the first draft.
That's what the combatant's about. This is the voice you use when you're employed in your drafting process. She's the voice that links your ideas together and sustains them until you have a full, messy, gross, beautiful piece of work that you can start editing through with the help of our next voice, which we'll get to shortly.
Okay, and our next voice is very, very easy. This is the one that people, I guess, may or may not struggle with. This is our friend, the control freak, and we don't want him to turn up too soon. Okay, we actually want him to stay away for a little while. Okay, so the control freak wants to make things perfect. He wants to edit those words so that they make sense. Teachers are very good at making kids in schools focus on this part of the creative process. We're all about freeing you up and not paying too much attention to this guy to start with, but he will come into his own and we will have to work with him. And we'll provide worksheets. We'll make sure that you're okay at this part. One of the special things about our course is that we give feedback as you're going through, constructive feedback. We tell you how wonderful you are because that's really, really important to know how wonderful you are. Not a lot of people take on this novel writing process. It's long and it's hard and you will sometimes want to cry. And that's where Sam and her chocolate come in.
Yep.
But what we really, really want to I guess emphasise is that we're with you every week and we will be there making sure that you give your dreamer and your creative brain a chance to fly before this control freak guy comes in.
But equally, the control freak is a valuable part of your creative process, and he's the one that's going to help you neaten things and strengthen things. So don't diss him just yet. Just keep him out until you're ready for him.
Diss.
I'm a teenager. I'm a teenager.
Okay, we will collect that word.
Yes. The fifth stage of your creative journey and your creative process is embodied in the voice called the finisher.
Oh, I love the finisher. This is the exciting part. The finisher has one very important job, one that consists of typing only 2 words.
The end.
Yeah, as a creative, it may seem like your work is never complete, and to an extent that's true because you're never happy with what you've done. There's always room to improve and you can always find a way to make your project better. Your finisher is in charge of deciding when to let your work go, to type the end, those magical words, and to move on to the next stage of the process. And I can tell you guys, this is where this course comes into its own. You actually get a book.
Yes, we're getting to that. Before we get to that, the next stage of the process is about learning about your craft, because you can have all the creativity and freedom if you want, but if you don't know how to harness that and compress it, it's going to be very hard to get it across on the page in a way your audience will understand. The craft is a double-edged sword. The practitioner is the voice in charge of the craft, and while he's very helpful in creating your work, he can also be a bit of a danger to you, because if you focus too much on making things perfect, you lose your creative energy.
That's sad.
It is sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sad.
None of us are perfect writers. I don't think there's any such thing, but your practitioner sure wants you to try. Okay, loves new techniques, new tidbits about the craft, and this is because the practitioner loves learning.
We like encouraging a lifelong love of learning.
Yeah, and
that's what the practitioner is about.
And we've got a workbook.
We have a workbook. That's part of the practitioner. It's about harnessing your creative ideas and crafting them on the page.
30 pages of homework, guys. You are going to love it.
But it's optional. You make the rule. You make the rules. That's what it's about. Now, the next voices in your head are... They come from us and our Facebook group and the structure of our course. So what makes our course special is that you get access to us and to us. Most courses, they give you a lot of resources and they're like, go, do it by yourself. But we believe in nurturing and harnessing your creative powers with you. That's what the next voices are about. So voice number 7 is the cheerleader.
Okay. And we talked about our Facebook group. Every Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock at this stage, until we decide on a better time, we meet via Facebook Live, and Sam and I will be sharing, I guess, different techniques, whatever you need to know. You'll be there. You'll be asking us questions, and we'll be answering them. So as you work through your project, different things are going to come up and you're going to get stuck. It may be point of view, it may be a character that's misbehaving, it may be a technical detail like, I guess, narrative voice. Whatever it is, we're there with you when that happens. So every Sunday at 5 o'clock at this stage. Plus, during the week in that Facebook group, you're going to make friends. You're going to have other writers doing exactly the same thing that you are. And then at the end of it all, I guess we can have a virtual party.
Yes, we're going to develop a community of writers that are going to support you in this journey.
And what's even better than that, and this is something that we've added again, we're going to have a showcase.
Yes.
Within our course, we are going to have a whole page where you'll have a little bio and you'll have your work, and when it's finished, we're going to put your books up there and you're going to be able to sell them. But that's a bit exciting, and we'll talk about that later.
Yes, we will. Okay. Voice number 8, we've kind of talked about this, is the facilitator, and that's Mel.
Oh, that's me. I'm your accountability boss creative. As your facilitator, I'm here to smooth out your process and provide the support that you need.
Yep, so basically Mel is here to guide you on your process, as we've talked about, and she's not here to take over, but she's here to provide the guidance you need when you need it.
I like taking over.
But she's not allowed. I will keep her in check, guys, don't worry. So, voice number 9, what we've been building to with our t-shirts and our bookmarks. Voice number 9 is the producer. This is what happens after you've finished your work, because the work doesn't end when you've finished your book, when you finish the creative side of it. The producer is about turning your ethereal first draft into a concrete finished product. So he's in charge of cover design and creating your bookmarks and creating your t-shirts.
Beautiful covers. Beautiful.
He loves cover designs, font changes, and paper quality, and he's ready to get your book out there and to reach an audience, because
you're going to sell them.
Yes,
you're going
exactly.
to sell them, and you're going to sell them via our group, via our page, via our website, and you're going to sell them to your mothers and aunties and uncles and that. And I think we're going to talk about that now, aren't we?
Yep, that's the 10th voice, the final voice, the entrepreneur. Because as 21st century writers, we don't need to rely on other people to do this for us, or that other people can help us. We believe in you taking charge of your own business and looking to the future to determine what you need to do to grow your writing business and grow yourself as a writer.
Okay, and the first thing that I suggest that you do is you learn all the digital terms and how to work all this stuff, because without Facebook and Instagram and, heaven forbid, dare I mention, Snapchat, you can't really get very far. You need to have a website, and you need to have your books up there for people to find. You need to be able to sell to your mum and dad. You need audio. You need to work YouTube Live. YouTube Live is the latest new big one. And the best thing about all this digital technology is we actually get to interact with you. So once upon a time, it would have all been pen and paper. It would have all been boring. Now, because it's 21st century and because younger and younger people are creating lives for themselves that don't, that doesn't mean you're locked in a classroom for the rest of your life. There is so much happening. I get very excited about this, so I'm going to stop prattling.
Yeah. So, on that note, that is the end of our introduction to our structure of our course. thank you for watching, and we hope you realise that by now that the different voices in your head, they're your friends, and when they're all shouting at once at you, you might feel like they're out of your control, but ultimately your voices are a part of you, and we and them want you to succeed in the end. So in the end, we're here to support you, and that's what we want to do in this course. We want to support you to create your stories and listen to the call of your imagination.
All right, there'll be more details, I guess, on our website. The what is it called? Voices in Your Head book will be available for you to download for free. Hopefully, if you're watching this, that you'll also download the workbook. Download the Voices in Your Head book. The workbook that you will get, 30-page workbook, is inside the course. So we're waiting for you to join up.
You get that when you sign up.
Yeah. Also, there'll be a section for parents inside the course where I'll be putting some of the research that shows the value of creativity and imagination, and how those skills really give opportunities for you in the future. It's hard to finish your work. We've got some students in there now who are working very hard to finish a project, and you get to about 3/4 of the way through and you just have a bit of a slump, and that's where we come in, and we really want to encourage you to finish these things and get those things up. So best of luck. We look forward to seeing you inside the course.
We do.
And maybe at one of our workshops if you're in our area, or otherwise not. And one little last piece, can I mention my writers retreat next year? We're having an annual writers retreat, and you can physically come and join us for 5 days of workshops and theatre and hopefully campfires, but I'm not sure about the legalities of that one. But we are going to have an annual retreat where you actually get to meet each other in person and maybe sell each other your books if you're finished by that stage. So we don't expect you to go away after you've done this course. We expect you to stay within the community and build lifelong friends. That's the biggest benefit of all. Bye for now.
That's it from us. Have fun on your writing journeys.